Hello everyone. Welcome to the HCC Language Lab Learning Series 3. I'm Dr. Mary Jayanti from the Language Lab team, Holy Cross College, Tiruchirappalli. This is a short video lesson on how to write a biosketch for the basic and intermediate level. This video is for lesson 2, which is on my family and me. I hope you have watched the first video where an introduction to what a biosketch is and how do these video lessons work are given. So just in case you have missed our introductory video, quickly I would suggest that you go and have a look into it so that you might follow the process for your benefit. And as I said, this video lesson is for lesson 2, where you can effectively talk about your family and about yourself. The objective of this video lesson is to use the input that is given to write and speak about yourself and your family more effectively. Talking about family. Family is a space where you feel safe and loved. And love blooms with every nurture felt from and around the family. And what a joy is it to speak about the members of your family. And quite often, many people ask you, after they ask you your name, tell us about your family, right? So at that point of time, how do you say it in English in the most effective way? And we all know that the family is one of nature's masterpieces. And also, in this segment, you will also speak about your name and what is the meaning of your name. For words have meaning and names have power. The questions that we would deal in this segment are the first 6 questions of the set of questions that was shared in the first video. And as step 1, you should have already written your answers to this. And after writing your answers, you can continue to watch this video to find out what would be the accurate way to talk about your family and you. The 6 questions that you should have worked already are: what is your name and what do you do? What's the meaning of your name? What is your parents' name? What is their occupation? Write at least one quality that you have learned from your mother and father. And do you have siblings? What do you like in them? And as we continue, I assume that you have finished step 1 where you have written your own answers. So that after you watch this video and the next videos, you will rewrite your answers and that will make it more effective. So in this video, we will be talking about these 6 questions. And what is in a name? Shakespeare says, that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. But in spite of that, a name is a name that is quite personal. So, if somebody asks you, what's your name and what's the meaning of your name, the very simple way to say is, I am Joanna, for example, and my name means God is gracious. It's so good to introduce yourself as I am rather than saying my name is or myself is, which is not really appropriate. The best way is to say I am and then your name. Here in this case, I am Joanna and my name means God is gracious. So just in case you think, what is the meaning of my name? You can quickly go check with your family or even Google it up to find out what is the meaning of your name, and that spices up the whole thing. So the template that you can use is I am and then give your name, and the meaning of my name is whatever the meaning is. In saying so, we have answered the first 2 sentences of the questions given. Moving on to speak about your family. So the questions are, what are the names of your parents, or what is your mother's name or your father's name, and what is their occupation? And write at least one quality each that you have learned from your mother and father. So how do you say that? My father's name is, write your father's name, and my mother's name is, write your mother's name. And it is very important to note, if you are a regional medium student, and you are a first generation learner, or you're speaking, trying out things for the first time in English, there could be slight error that which you can be conscious of and you could avoid. Many a time, the common error in this response is many people would say, my father name is, my mother name is, leaving out the possessive S. But continuously and constantly focus on adding the apostrophe S. In that way, you can speak more correctly, right? So, the right way to say is, my father's name is, and my mother's name is, and avoid saying, my father name is and my mother name is. And the second part that you have to speak about is their occupation. So you can say, my father is a carpenter, my mother is a homemaker, or my father is a plumber, my mother is a teacher. So the template that is given gives you the sentence pattern, and you'll have to add in the noun that is required. Suppose your mother is not working, the best way is to say that she is a homemaker rather than saying she's not working, because all mothers are full time homemakers and their work has to be really acknowledged. To know what your parents are, your background is, unless and until it reflects in you. And one beautiful way of saying it is, I've learned to be any of the adjectives. We've given you a list of adjectives. What is that one quality that you've learned from your mother? For example, you want to say that your mother is organized. So you can say, I've learned to be organized from my mother and smart from my father, or like my father. I've learned to be tolerant from my mother, and I've also learned to be truthful from my father. Or you can say, I've learned to be supportive like my mother and wonderful like my father. You can either say from my mother, from my father, or like my mother, like my father. When you add this part of the sentence to your introduction, people get to know more about you, and this is about your brothers and sisters. To talk about your siblings. By siblings, we refer to brothers and sisters that you have in your family. So the sentence pattern that we use here is, I have one brother or one sister, or two brothers, two sisters, depending on how many brothers and sisters you have. Just in case you don't have a brother and a sister and you are a single child, don't you worry. You can just say, I have a cousin. So, when speaking about your siblings, it's good to say, I have one brother or one sister, or I have two brothers or two sisters, or I have one brother and one sister. It could be the pattern that you say. And suppose you don't have a brother and sister, you need not say, I don't have brother and sister. Always say what you have. You can speak about a cousin of yours with whom you have grown up with. You can say, I have one cousin, or I like my brother for being disciplined. I like my sister for being enthusiastic. I am your name and I am doing my which class. The meaning of my name is whatever the meaning of your name is, and my father's name is whatever the name is, and my mother's name is. Then my father is a occupation, my mother is a, write the occupation. Then I've learned to be, what is the quality that you appreciate from your mother, and I've learned to be, write the quality that you appreciate from your father. And I have how many brothers and sisters. Just in case you don't have your brother and sister, don't you worry, speak happily about your cousin brother or cousin sister. And you can say what you like in your brother and what you like in your sister. In doing so, you would have answered 6 sentences about yourself. And now put that into a paragraph and say, this is you. And once you've done it, watch the next video for the next set of questions and the templates. So I hope you were happy writing about your family and about yourself. Happy writing and happy speaking. Let the learning continue. Thank you.